The Bulldozer Tanner Boser gets the big unanimous decision victory against Aleksa Camur. And AJ, man, I will have to say, being like I am a Boser fan, like this was a feel good win. This was like, oh man, I'm glad you got the win. This was the final fight on his contract. And he did it in what we had mentioned before was the most winnable fight of really like the last five that he's gotten, 5 or 6. However, I felt that in this matchup, I think don't take into account the urgency that one has when their job is on the line. Like sometimes I really fail to keep that into account. And I felt like Boser fought with a different level of urgency in this fight than we've seen with some of his others. Would you agree?
Oh, 100%, Derek. I like that you said this is a feel-good fight for Boser. To me, as well as a feel-good fight, but this is also a Boser of the past that came back, more like a rejuvenated, a volume 2, if you will. Tanner Boser, yeah, he at one point in his career, he was slower. He was kind of a little bit more of a plotter. Now, bro, he's bouncing around. He's slick. He's firing on all cylinders. I really like this fight for Tanner Boser.
This was a tough one, too, because Aleksa Camur, we've seen success from him, especially look at the last fight, man. You go into that close fight against Nicholas Negumereanu, right? A pressure guy, power, nonstop moving. Tanner Boser pretty much had the same level of fight, but was able to just outwork him. It was simply outworking. It wasn't really anything crazy. Of course, people are praising the incredible chin of Camur, but we know Boser has never really had that crazy pop. You know, he's really in that light heavyweight mix. I don't want to make any excuses because Tanner Boser rightfully won the fight, like domination style, right? But I felt like Camur was just off tonight, man. We didn't see him throw. I said he got that slick striking. We saw almost none of it. They were both gassed out after round 2, but Camur was extra gassed out, just really fighting on heart from what I felt like. Not to disparage anybody because it takes 2 to tango, but I just felt like Tanner Boser showed up and Camur maybe did not. Maybe it's an experience thing. Do you have anything on that or am I crazy?
No, I saw exactly what you were doing, Derek, or what you saw too, because I expected not a little more out of Camur, but a different look in his eye. You know, he was sitting there. I was expecting him to be a little more dominant in the fight, but there's a couple times where he's on the fence and just kind of going with the punches and just trying to find any little grasp to hold on to. Where Tanner Boser was in control, and we haven't really seen Tanner Boser fight like that in at least a long time. I expected the younger version or the younger fighter in Camur to really come back and kind of have that athleticism carry him through a lot. But like you said, both guys were gassed after round 2. Both of them had that 1,000-yard stare. It was an interesting one, but I do think a lot of that came down to that Camur, he needed this win as well, but it seemed like Tanner Boser knew he needed the win more and really resonated with that as well and kind of made it a little more animalistic, if you will.
That's right. Fantastic win by Tanner Boser. He did his thing. He bulldozed, and hopefully we see him again in the UFC cage.